love magic. Now, in this course, I'm really just focused on sharing with you how to do hoodoo style love spells. And if you're doing the course to learn hoodoo style love spells, then you've absolutely come to the right place. If you're doing this course to really study voodoo or become a mambo, that's a priest or priestess of voodoo, then you're in the wrong place. But there's no shame in saying, look, you're just learning this to learn how to do love spells and love magic, because we all want love in our life. There's nothing wrong with that. Whether it's you wanting love for yourself or wanting to do a love spell on someone else, that's totally cool. So one of the keys of this course I want to impress upon you from the start is I don't want you just reading along or watching the videos. In all my courses, the idea is for you to get hands-on. It's to get dirty. I want you to be able to have a look at a lesson. If you want to get into it in more depth, you can read more information, but I don't think you should. I think you should just have a look at what the lesson is trying to share with you, grab whatever tools you have, and actually do the work. You might say, well, I don't have the exact ingredients. And this is something that I was talking about with another coven member of mine, because, for example, she's in Australia and you could be in any part of the world learning this course, and maybe you can't get the herb or ingredient in your area that I'm talking about. And you've got to get the essence, understand that wherever you are in the world, folk magic happened at some time. And you have a herb in your environment that is going to match or give a similar result that I'm actually using in the video. So if you're in Australia, for example, and we're doing some healing work or so forth, you may not have the herb that I'm talking about, but you might have eucalyptus, or you might have some herb there that you can use that's also used for healing. Do you get what I mean? So do yourself a favor and don't get all caught up thinking you don't have exactly what all the tools and therefore you can't do it. You absolutely can do it. And when you do find an appropriate herb or something, make sure you share that with the class in the comment section below the video, or jump on the Facebook page and share it with everyone, because I think we've really got to break the stigma that if you don't have that herb, that your spell will fail, because it's just not true. Folk magic has happened all around the world in every culture and every civilization. Now, in saying that, hoodoo style love magic, the way I've learnt it in America, predominantly in the New Orleans, Louisiana region, is a certain style of hoodoo. It's New Orleans hoodoo has been adapted, and that's because the people here have adapted it to work within this region. And that's important to know. You don't realize that until you're actually living and doing the work in a particular region. Do you realize why people are working a certain way? So rather than getting caught up in the drama, and there's a ton of drama, let me tell you, in hoodoo, just put yourself above it and just remember that whatever you have around you is good enough. So long as you've got the basics, right? So if I'm using a candle and I'm showing you with a red couple candle and you don't have a red couple candle, then get 2 white candles and put those candles together. The idea is that you have to be able to visualize what those candles represent. That is the key. Remember, traditionally, and this isn't traditionally back in Africa, because obviously they didn't have white waxy candles in the middle of the African bush, right? So remember, this has all been adapted. So if when hoodoo was coming from, Haiti and so forth into America, and it was being influenced by the Jewish traditions and customs and Indian customs and all this fusion of different cultures, they started using candles and so forth. And if you're using just white candles, that's perfectly okay. You're using the white candles, you're remembering what they represent, and you're doing the spell work like that. Okay, so if you don't have a particular oil, just use olive oil. Olive oil is really pure, especially for love magic or healing type of work. And also olive oil, I like it because I don't have a reaction to it, and it holds whatever herb or powder really well onto the candle. So just what I'm trying to say is just adapt and get to work. Don't make an excuse not to do this work, and don't just read along. Actually get involved, okay? So what is one of the keys to success in this? One of the keys to success is you understanding that the success in hoodoo is your connection with the lower, or connection with spirit. So depending on what style of hoodoo or what region you're coming from, you're either going to be working with the saints or the lower. And of course, your connection with ancestors is super important. In this course, I'm not going to bog you down with all the different, the depth of the lower and the saints and ancestors. I'm going to give you suggestions on which prayer or which incantation or what to actually say to the spiritual world. And then if you want to do further work in that, of course, you're more than welcome to. But remember, this is just to get straight into love magic and spell casting, not to get bogged down in a lot of deep academic learning or deep spiritual learning about the background of hoodoo or the background of the lower. That is more in the Hoodoo Witchcraft 1-year course. I'm sure you out here that are learning this for spellcasting won't mind that at all. But we will be having a little look at why, the different lower or the different saints that you can call out when you're actually doing the spell, okay? Now, if you're totally uncomfortable with connecting to the spirits, and you feel more comfortable with divination, I will go through different methods that you can use to actually connect with the spirits via, say, divination methods. And we'll go over that really briefly in one lesson. And that's because a lot of you are coming from non-spiritual backgrounds, and you could feel like because you're not connecting with spirit, or you can't feel the energy around you, or you can't actually hear the spirit because you're not actually getting into trance work, you're not getting into possession work, which is a little bit more traditional, that you're not actually doing this properly. And there's other methods that we use to connect with spirit. So think about divination methods such as scrying, such as tarot, such as I Ching. There's many methods that we use to actually connect with spirit. And in fact, even pendulum is a really awesome way to check on spiritual responses. So there's really no excuse. And of course, don't panic if all of that is too hard to learn and you just want to get straight into it. You will get spiritual answers through your candle burning. So let's talk about ethics for a minute, because some of you may be coming from the Wiccan background or witchcraft background into this. I'm not going to lecture you on what's right or wrong when it comes to love work. Your heart is what's going to determine what's right and wrong. To me, I feel like it's better that you get something off your chest. If you're really pining after someone and you want them to come back to you, and you do a little honey jar or a candle burning spell to try and manipulate their will to come back to you, and they come back to you, well, I feel like that's good for you. I feel like that's healthy for you, because psychologically, with you pining after that person and you letting all these years go as you're stressing out about that person, to me, that's not healthy. It's better that you throw it out there and that let their free will be their choice. If they were meant to come back to you and your magic has an effect on them and they're coming back to you, that is totally awesome. So don't be stressing out my opinion, about what is right and wrong magically. You're just throwing the spell out there. You're asking spirit for that spell to either happen, or if the spirit decides it's not going to happen, so be it, and just leave it at that. What will happen will happen. The other issue that many of you will have is saying, wow, I've done something once and nothing has happened. I'm feeling really unconfident now and I'm giving up. um, love magic or any type of magic isn't just a one hit and it's done. It really takes sometimes multiple castings, multiple types of work to have success when you're doing love spells. Even money work, any type of magic takes more than just one spell casting session before you have success. So keep that in mind. Trust that spirit works in mysterious ways, and that you have to really sometimes convince spirit that you're even serious about this to happen before stuff happens for you. And if you really want something, just keep doing the work. Sometimes it can take a few years for something to happen. Even with myself, when I'm trying to manifest something, for example, I lived in Australia and I wanted to come to the USA, and I didn't even know why I wanted to come to the USA, but I started putting plans into action. I wanted to live on the beachfront in Hawaii. I started putting plans into action. I wanted to come and live in New Orleans. I really started throwing it out there. And it sometimes takes years for these seeds, once they're planted, to be able to manifest. But the key is to start throwing it out there, and then things will happen. So with love work, remember, it takes time for you to be able to cast that spell, for the target to be able to feel the effects of that spell, and then for the target of that spell to be able to change their life or put actions in their life to be able to change their emotions, their feelings, sometimes their physical situation, to be able to have the result that you're really looking for. It's not overnight. So if you're impatient, this isn't the type of work that you really should be doing. If you're really impatient, you better get on the phone and just tell the person what you want. You'd have more luck doing that. So in saying that, let's get into some of the logistics of this course. So if you want to contact me, there's some email addresses at the bottom of this page. Of course, we have the Facebook page as well, and you're free to load your pictures there or any comments that you have. We have the student store at Black Magic Witch, where you get your student discount, of course. And then on this site, we have various Hoodoo style products that are sourced from a local New Orleans botanica. And with those right now, in 2017, we actually will go to the botanica, we'll source the products, and we'll send them out to you. But any questions that you have, just email us, okay? We have a support person ready to help you, and we have, of course, our wonderful Hoodoo Witch and Black Witch Coven staff that are here to help you as well. Of course, this isn't about us doing the work for you. You have to be able to research, dig deeper, do the groundwork yourself. We're not here to answer questions such as, which herb should I use because I don't have this herb. That is your responsibility as a student. We are giving you what you need to know, and then the rest is really up to you to actually do and research. And as a student, share your findings, share your results. That's really part of the learning experience as well. I will be on this course every week to answer your questions, and I do the love work on Friday. So Friday is the day of all my love casting and my love spells. I'm a witch, so while I do hoodoo, I also consider other various elements of witchcraft, such as the planetary hours and such as the days of the week. That's really important for me. And so on Fridays, the day where it's affected by the planetary influence of Venus energy, I will be answering any questions that you have that you've left in under the lessons. So each lesson, there's course comments, and you're welcome to leave your comments there, and then I will jump in there and answer any questions that you have or make comments. But remember what I just said about the type of questions that you ask. Okay. All right. So I really hope that you enjoy this course and it inspires you to learn more about Hoodoo or dig deeper into Hoodoo. All right. Blessed be.